Good morning, CSL. It's so wonderful to see those of you here in the sanctuary, and thank you to those of you that are online. It is my honor to introduce Sandra Cavanaugh as our guest speaker today, and you've already got a wonderful taste of what she is capable of. She is also an expert in the field of creativity, imagination, and innovation. Sandra coaches and mentors people of all ages and abilities to realize and express their own creative genius. Sandra is an award-winning 35-year veteran of the entertainment industry as, now this might take a moment, so just sit back and wait, a writer, director, actress, producer, singer, songwriter, speaker, artistic director, and teacher of acting and improvisation. My gosh, how does she have time? She is also the very proud mother of 4 daughters, 3 of whom are adoption miracles, and all who grew up here at CSL. Sandra's personal journey has also made her a fierce advocate for children in foster care, adoption, in children's mental health, autism, and creativity in education. Through her decades of working with children, and I loved what Sandra says about this, with special needs, she says that she has developed a deep belief that everyone is brilliant. We have no shortage of brilliance in the world, just a reluctance to offer it and a resistance to accepting it. That's just beautiful, just beautiful. Sandra is currently working on a number of creative projects. How she has time, but she's doing it. Not the least of which is that Sandra and Rex are currently working on a new album of original songs. If you've ever heard the songs that Sandra sings, that Rex plays, you'll understand that what she writes or what they write about is this philosophy, and it's absolutely beautiful. The first 2 songs were both Rex and Sandra original songs. So you can learn more about Sandra's endeavors at sandrakavanagh.com. Let's honor Sandra and welcome her as our guest speaker this morning.
It's so great to be back here. I haven't been here for a while. The last time I was here, I think, as a speaker was last October. Okay. So maybe a little overdue. Yes, I teach spontaneous brilliance. I teach that everyone is brilliant. I teach that when we look around the room, we're usually not expecting brilliance from ourselves, let alone from every single person that we look at. But oftentimes that's because we are, or they are, not offering what is ours to offer. And we're not, or they're not, accepting that offer. We tend to block our offers. Those are the 3 basic rules of improvisation: offering, accepting, and blocking. And anybody who's heard me speak knows I'm constantly referring to that. That everything that you do in life, everything that you do on the stage is one of 3 things. Only one of 3 things, because life is a 24/7 improv. You are either offering, accepting, or you are blocking. That's it. Okay? So what I want to do today is talk about faith and miracles, because my work takes people to the intersection of creative imagination, personal responsibility, and inspired action. And faith and miracles is about that inspired action piece. It's about knowing who we are and knowing what we can do. And I think that what happens when we first start to talk about faith is that we get it confused with belief. We think that faith and belief are the same thing. And for me, they're really 2 completely different things. I'm going to use my glasses for a second and read the definition, or a couple of definitions of belief. A state or habit of mind in which trust or confidence is placed in some person or thing. Something that is accepted, considered to be true, or held as an opinion, something believed. Well, there's a little circular definition for you. Belief is something believed. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Webster. I got it. Okay. Well, The problem with that definition is that it starts with belief is a state or a habit of mind. That's the part I agree with. That's the one part we need to really hang on to. Belief is a state or a habit of mind. And a lot of times those habits of mind, I'm going to make myself dizzy looking through those at you. Those habits of mind are limiting beliefs. But faith, oh, here we go. I got to put them back on. Faith is defined a little differently. Faith is defined as a firm belief in something for which there is no proof, absolute unquestioning trust or belief. Something that is believed especially with strong conviction. Now, that's where I tend to take real difference with that definition of faith. Because belief is a state of mind. It is a way of thinking, but faith requires action. It requires action. It's in our DNA. Think about the way that we talk about faith, an act of faith, a leap of faith. We don't say a leap of belief. Nobody takes a leap of belief. We look at them like they were funny. Ernest Holmes says, when through intuition, faith finds its proper place under divine law, there is no limitation, and what are called miracles result. Amen. Amen. That is true. Belief is knowing that you could do it, that it could be done, that it can happen. Faith is having the courage to be part of making it happen. Faith is having the courage to do that thing that you know in your belief can be done. Even if you are afraid. Even if you are afraid. You know, Ernest Holmes said there are no limitations, and what are called miracles result when faith finds its proper place. We are co-creating with the universe. The universe is creating all the time. It's just whether or not we decide to step in and join it and work against it instead of block it. The universe never blocks us. We do, however, block what the universe offers us all the time. So I have 5 steps to miracles. First step is dreams. Second step is faith. Third step is action. Fourth step is transformation. And the fifth step is manifestation. So we're going to talk about those for a second. Your dreams. The first step in a miracle is to notice your dreams. They are sacred inspiration. Those things that are burning in you, even just a little tiny taste of a dream. That is your sacred inspiration. That is your offer from the universe. Those dreams are tiny sparks of creation that it's your job to ignite. It's your job, it's our job to light it. But we block the dream because of fear. And fear becomes just the black hole of miracles, right? It swallows them whole. It just eats them up, takes them into the darkness, and they languish there. And we live our lives without having ever shined a light on that dream, on that vision, on that sacred inspiration that we have. There's a definition of miracles, which is an extraordinary and astonishing happening that is attributed to the presence and action of an ultimate divine power. That which causes wonder and astonishment, being extraordinary in itself and amazing or inexplicable by normal standards. But that's what we are available to every moment. Those are the kinds of dreams that come into our heart. If we're honest about it, those are the things that hook up and connect with us. Henry David Thoreau says, if one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined, he will meet with success unexpected in the common hours. Isn't that just so beautiful? He's actually saying that the definition of miracles is what we'll meet up with. If we accept the author of the universe, that divine inspiration that is placed inside of us. But we block that dream out of fear. We think, oh, what if somebody else doesn't think my dream's a good idea? What if somebody else doesn't like it? What if it's not good enough? What if it doesn't happen? What if it's not gonna work? What if? But the dream, the fact that it's there, that's your sign that it is possible. That's your sign that you can do it. Because the universe never blocks. If we're frustrated, it's because of blocking. And so the universe does not give us dreams to make us frustrated. It gives us dreams to light us on fire, to move us forward toward that which we came onto this planet to do. We came here to be, do, and share our dreams, our vision. Ernest Holmes, founder of Science of Mind, says, "We are born to be happy and grow and expand forever." Well, I can't do that if you're blocking every offer the universe makes, right? We think that happiness is something to be achieved. No, according to Holmes, happiness is where we start. When we get frustrated is when we respond out of fear. When we get frustrated is when we block. So, okay, first step is dreams, second step is faith. Faith is, of course, part of the title of this talk, Faith and Miracles. Faith is the most important step on the path to miracles. Faith is how we manage that fear, right? And Jesus, the master teacher, was the master teacher of faith. Jesus said, if you have faith as a mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, be removed, and it shall be removed, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. That's Matthew 17:20. Jesus is not only the great teacher of faith, but the master performer of miracles. And he said to us, what I do, you shall do, and even greater. But we didn't listen to that part, right? But let me just tell you a little story from Matthew 14. You've all heard it. I know you've all heard it. So Jesus has the disciples out in a boat across the lake. And as nightfall's coming, and so he walks across the lake toward the boat. And they look at him and they're like, whoa! And he says, and Peter says, if you tell me to come out there with you, I'll come out there with you. And Jesus goes, come on. And Peter walked out there. He stepped out of the boat and he walked on the water. And it says, then he felt the wind and he lost confidence and he started to sink. Until I went back and reread that again, I always thought he fell in the water. It only says he started to sink. And then it says that Jesus reached out, helped him, and they got back in the boat, which means he walked back. Right? Because Jesus was walking on the water. And Peter was with him. Now, Jesus said, when he reached out his hand, when Peter said, save me, started to sink, Jesus reached out his hand and he said, oh, ye of little faith, why did you doubt? He said, oh, ye of little faith. He didn't say, oh, ye of no faith. He said, why doubt? Peter had faith. And me, what I'm always wondering is how come nobody ever gives, we've adopted that as a phrase. Ye of little faith. We think Peter fell in the water. He lost his faith and fell in the water. Well, he walked on the water. Come on. Nobody ever gives any stuff to those guys who stayed in the boat. Do you even know which disciples they were? We all know Peter was there. Do we know who was in that boat? Did we pay attention to that? We don't give those guys any hard time for sitting in the boat and watching Peter fall in the water. But Peter has spent the last 2 millennia being the butt of a joke. I would rather be a 2,000-year joke and have walked on the water for a second than have stayed in the boat and watched somebody else do it and never even tried? We don't know what else Peter did, right? Peter might have walked on the water every day after that and just nobody wrote about it, right? But he knew he could. He had the faith and he tried. He created a miracle. He was a miracle. His miracle was short, but it was a miracle. It was a miracle. Eleanor Roosevelt said, fear can only, what did she say? She said, all the water in the world can't drown you if it doesn't get in you. Hello, right? If you don't let that fear in, if you don't allow that fear to block us, we can't be blocked. The water's on the outside. We can walk on it, we can bathe in it, we can do whatever we want to with it. That's the miracle. The water is the offer. What do you decide to do with it? Okay, so the third thing, because we're up to what do you decide to do with it, that's the action. That's the third step. You have to take action. I'm always telling my students, in acting as in life, blah, blah, blah is true. In acting as in life, blah, blah, blah is true. Well, in acting as in life, it's all about what you do. Not what you think. It's about what you do. Acting is active. Life is active. How do you make something appear true on the stage? The same way you make it appear in life. You behave as if it's true. You take action. You take steps in the direction of that dream. We are each 100% responsible for offering our gifts into the world, for offering into our own lives. We limit what's possible by not offering. We limit what's possible by thinking that the universe is supposed to take care of it, that we're just supposed to have the dream, maybe pray about it a bit, have sort of belief that we're calling faith, and sit there and hope. Mary Morrissey used to tell a story at the Living Enrichment Center, which was my church many years ago in Oregon, and she would tell this story about this guy who really, really, really wanted to win the lottery. Really wanted to win the lottery. And he had all these beautiful visions for what he was supposed to do with that money, all these dreams and all these visions. And he knew that he could feed the homeless and he could help people and he could do all kinds of things, and he was not being selfish. And he was in prayer every day. God, please, let me win the lottery. I will do great things with it. I will do great things with it. Let me win the lottery. Let me win the lottery. Let me win the lottery. And day after day after day, no lottery winning. No lottery winning. And he prayed harder, and he cleared his heart more, and he planned more, and he knew what he was going to do with that money, and he thought about it, and he hoped about it, and he hoped about it. And one day he was praying, and he was reaching the brink of frustration. And he said, God, please let me win the lottery. What more do you want me to do? And this loud, booming voice came from the heavens and said, buy a ticket. You gotta buy your ticket. You gotta take that step. You gotta take that action. All of us thought that because he had good intentions, that's all the universe wanted him to do. We were all sitting here with the story. I was sitting in your place years ago. I heard the story the same way. I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, what's the answer? What's the answer? What's the answer? Well, hello. Okay. Ernest Holmes, let's see. Ernest Holmes says, we have to have, I love this, we have to have an active faith. A faith that is of God, not instead of merely a faith in God. We have to have an active faith, a faith that is of God instead of merely a faith in God. Our faith needs to be in ourselves. When I'm working with my clients and they maybe have never spoken, right? They're nonverbal and they're in a special needs class in a high school, and people don't believe they can do anything because it's kind of a pain to listen to them, right? It's kind of a pain to wait until something comes out. But that's my job. That's what I tell them all the time. You don't have to have faith in this. I'll have faith until you're ready to. And that is our gift that we can give each other as we move through this journey, is when we see somebody struggling to have faith and taking the action, we can be that faith for them. We can know it for them. And then that faith, the dream, the faith, the action, they lead to the next step, which is transformation. Now, transformation comes from two root words. Trans, which means going beyond, and form, what is the material form, okay? So transformation is asking you to go beyond the current form of your life, to step beyond the current form of your life. What you see in your life right now is not all that is. What you feel in your heart, that dream that you know, that's all that is. We have to allow it. We have to allow transformation. We have to let go. There's a book by Richard Bach, which probably everyone here has read, Illusions by Richard Bach. If you haven't read it, it's fun. And the first part is written seemingly by hand as journal entries, and it's this story. And part of the story is told about these little creatures that live clinging to the side of a crystal river. And the river flows by them, and they cling and they cling and they cling, and they spend their whole lives clinging to the side of the river. And they worship the river, they believe in the river is great, but they believe that if they let go, the river's gonna hurt them, it's gonna crush them, it's gonna kill them. They don't know what's down there. And one day, one little creature gets tired of hanging on, and he lets go. And he does get tossed around and knocked down and crunched up. But eventually, the river lifts him back up to the surface. And he is carried down. And as he's carried down the river, everybody goes, oh! All the other creatures are like, whoa, look at you. You're magical. You're a miracle. And he says, I'm no more special than any of you. He says, the river delights to lift us free, if only we dare to let go. The river of life, the river of creation, the river of source, that beautiful, glorious crystal river, delights to lift us free, if we will only dare to let go. Even if we don't realize it, we sabotage miracles that are already in progress. Things are going along and we start to question. We start to let fear back in there again. Remember, fear is the black hole of miracles. It'll get you at any stage, right? So we're right in a transformation. And you know where fear kicks in transformation? Transformation, right? We're changing. Stuff is changing. So all of a sudden, we're getting that dream. And stuff looks really cool, and it's really exciting, and it's also a little bit scary, because it's not what I'm used to, and I don't like it. And now I don't know, what if this doesn't work out? What if it doesn't stay this way? What if I'm not good enough? What if people find out I'm a fraud? What if? And we start putting the brakes on. And we start finding our way back to our safety zone, which is probably not where we were born to be. Because if it's back there, we already did it, right? Dreams take us forward. Transformation is change, but change is freaking terrifying sometimes, right? So when you start to feel, when those miracles start to happen and you start to feel that fear of that change and that transformation, make another offer. When you start to feel the fear, make another offer. Take another baby step, like the song I'm going to sing in a minute. Take another baby step in the direction of those dreams. Take another baby step. Just a baby step is all we need. Take your action. We don't lose faith in the universe, in the transformation place. We know the universe is there. We lose faith in ourselves. So notice what you are doing when you're calling yourself down, when you're bringing yourself down or pulling yourself back. Joseph Campbell said, "Follow your bliss. If you follow your bliss, you put yourself in a kind of track that has been there all the while waiting for you. And the life you ought to be living is the one you are living. The life you ought to be living is the one you are living. When you follow your bliss is that thing in your heart that feels like you just have to be a part of it. You love to do it. You love to think about it. It's the thing that lights you on fire. We allow transformation. And that brings us to the fifth step, which is manifestation. Manifestation has gotten kind of a bad rap, right? In the sort of new agey of, we all are like The Secret, and you manifest by thinking about it, thinking about it. But we're all about the action. We're not about just having the affirmation. Affirmations are great ways of reminding us of what we want to have faith in. But the manifestation comes from our commitment. Remember that manifestation means to reveal, not to create. And here is the magic secret sauce of miracles, right? The magic secret sauce is something that was taught to me. It's been taught to all of us many times, but if we weren't listening, I'm going to tell you it from a person that you'll probably listen to. My acting teacher, when I was studying in London many, many years ago, and later the honorary patron of the theater company that I ran and my mentor for several years, was a man who was famous for playing a cannibalistic serial killer named Anthony Hopkins. And Tony Hopkins, regardless of the role he won his first Oscar for, is one of the most spiritual, present, grounded, thoughtful human beings I have ever met. Every human being, every moment is so precious in his world. And when he was here working on a project with me 20 some odd years ago, we were talking about, what was going to happen and he just turned to me and he goes, "Do you see it?" I was like, "Well, yeah." And he goes, "No, do you see it? First thought when you wake up in the morning, when you go to bed at night, do you visualize it? Do you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Then it already exists. Now we just have to be smart enough to catch up to it. It already exists." That's where the secret sauce of manifestation lies. It is to reveal what already exists, not to create it. You don't have to do all the hard work. That's the good news. You just have to take the steps to unearth what's already there. You are a conscious creator. You are here for a reason. You came here to be, do, and share what you uniquely came here to be, do, and share. Find your reason. Find your dream. Find your faith. Then hold your faith. Take your action. Allow your transformation. Don't block the change. Reveal the miracles that are already here in your life. And a special added bonus today. Here's a really big secret I don't know if any of us noticed very much. When we go back and think about Jesus and the day that he walked on water, that was the same day as the loaves and the fishes. He fed 5,000 people with 5 loaves and 2 fishes before he walked on water. Same day. So here's the reality. Newsflash, guys. There is no limit to the number or amount of miracles that we can do, anytime, anywhere, anyhow. We don't have to sit down and take a rest in between. We got this. Just manifest your miracles. I wish for all of us, all of you, and for me too, that we choose faith over fear always. And that we manifest our miracles. And that we meet with success, unexpected, in those common hours. Namaste.